I'm pleased to say I'm joined by one of the co-founders of the Swiss Darts Corporation, Marc Inhelder. Thanks for the time, Marc. How are you doing?
Hi, I'm doing good. How are you?
Doing well, thank you, and thanks very much for your time. We've got you on to talk about darts in Switzerland, and we'll start with yourself. Yourself being from Switzerland, how did you first get introduced to darts?
Well, the thing is, one of my friends always went to the Ali Pali every year to watch the final. And so I took notice of darts the first time through my friend, but I was never really interested. Like, I never said, okay, I want to come with you, or I will watch the games on TV. And then somehow one day I went into the city and I saw a dartboard at the normal shop, and I was like, okay, why not buy it? And basically that's how it all started. And
from there, was it just playing at home, playing with friends? Was darts just a casual thing, playing whenever you wanted really at that time?
Well, I believe I hang it up outside in the garden, and I started to play there. And then I was like, I love it and I want to compete with my friends. And so we started to do tournaments with people, with groups of 4 or with groups of 6 or something. And that's how we started to do tournaments. And and I also, during that time, I started to follow the action at the PDC, and yeah.
So from putting up a dartboard in your garden, putting on tournaments with your friends, to then co-founding your own darts organisation, the Steel Dart Club Schaffhausen. Talk to us about that.
Exactly. That was during lockdown, I think, in December 2020, when I launched the first tournament with, I think there were 16 players, and that was even at my flat. So we had that first tournament, and 2 of my friends said after the tournament, let's start something bigger. Let's start a darts club, a local darts club. And I was, why not? That's a good idea. And so we launched the darts club like 2 months later in February, and then we had like 50 members within 3 months, and everything went so well. And after the lockdown went away, all the people started to spend time on their normal hobbies and not playing darts. So we lost many members, but we still had the feeling that we could create something bigger than a darts club. And then one of the co-founders and me of the darts club said, let's start something professional. So we had the idea of making darts big in Switzerland, and so that was like basically the start of the Swiss Darts Corporation.
Yeah, we'll come on to talk about the Swiss Darts Corporation in a moment, but I just wanted to touch on darts in Switzerland, because when we think of darts in Switzerland, there are a few names which will spring to mind for our listeners, one of them being Thomas Younghans, who we've seen several times on our screens, most notably getting to the semi-finals of the World Masters. Were you following darts back then, or what's been the interest really in Thomas's success over the years?
Well, I started to get all the information from the internet, like about what's going on in Switzerland with darts, and I looked up for the best players and for the biggest tournaments, and of course Thomas was someone whose name I saw on the internet, and watched some YouTube videos about him, and of course also Stephan Belmont, and I started to find interest in Swiss darts, yeah.
And you mentioned another name there, Stephan Belmont, who more recently he's made his mark in the PDC. He's won a Challenge Tour title earlier this year. He's recently signed up with Loxley Darts, the manufacturer, as well. How far do you think he can go in the game?
Well, he's obviously a decent player, because if you can win a PDC Challenger Tour, you have to play good darts, and that's what he did. And he also qualified 2 times for the European Tour this year. And but I think what he needs to do is playing more PDC tournaments, playing more on the big stage to get used to it, because it seemed like he was always a little bit nervous, which is normal, of course, but I think he will have some nice appearances in the future.
Definitely. And away from yourselves with the Swiss Darts Corporation, we also got the Swiss Darts Association, which focuses more on the national teams, the national championships, running the Swiss Open, the WDF ranked events. When you guys started your own organisation, what were your main goals on what you wanted to achieve?
Of course, we knew about the Swiss Darts Association, but we said we don't want to we want to focus on the single players. We want to create tournament series where you can play by your own, where you don't have to build a team, and where you basically can enter nice tournaments with great setups, with great prize money, with a great location, and because we thought there are no tournaments where the conditions are really, really professional. When I mean professional, like the PDC. So that was our aim.
Yeah, and we've definitely seen that this past weekend. And at the end of last year, you helped launch the Swiss Darts Corporation, and we've seen you guys make some big strides already with the introduction of that SDC Tour. Can you tell our listeners a little bit about what the tour is and how it runs?
Yeah, of course. Basically, we have 128 tour card holders this season, so 64 on Saturday, 64 on Sunday, and we have 19 tournaments totally over the year, so 9 weekends. We always play on Saturday, on Sunday, one tournament each. And basically, we always ask the tour card holders if they will enter the tournaments 2 weeks before the weekend, and if not, there is a chance for a substitute player to replace the tour card holder. So we always look that we have a full field, 64 players, and then we play group stages. So every player has at minimum 3 games, best of 5 legs, and afterwards we go to the knockout stage. And from there it is 7, 9, 11, and winner takes 500 Swiss francs and a Q-School ticket for the first 10 tournaments this season.
And as you say, the tour card holder system you're running for the tour, we've had the first 2 events of the year this past weekend, and it was open to anyone to sign up and play, get that tour card and play on the circuit. And it wasn't just players from Switzerland that signed up. You had other countries represented in there as well. How pleased were you with the uptake in entries for the tour?
Well, we love to see that. We had so many interests, from Germany and also from parts not from the middle of Switzerland, from the from the north of Switzerland, and also I think we have a player from Austria, and next month there will be 2 players from England even, and but basically, we hope in the future we will have even more players from other countries, and also we spread the tournaments through almost whole Switzerland, so that you don't have always to travel to the same spot, so we can reach even more people from the whole country.
Excellent. And looking at how the events were run as well, you had them covered on Dart Connect, 2 boards streamed as well, and as you mentioned, starting off with that group stage so that everyone gets a minimum of 3 games each day on the Saturday, then the Sunday as well. For you, how important did you feel it was to use that round-robin format at the start to give every player more game time?
Well, we believe if you only play knockout stage, then you won't reach that many players, because if someone knows, okay, I need to travel 2 or even 3 hours, and then I can play maybe a best of 7 game after 4 legs, I could go home because I'm playing one of the best players. I don't think he will sign up, and I don't think he is ready to pay 250 Swiss francs for the whole season. So you need to give the players a lot of games, a lot of game time, so they can develop and enjoy the tournament, which is the most important, I think.
And one player who got plenty of game time at the weekend was Marcel Wolpen. We're calling him the Swiss Stompy because of his resemblance to my favourite player, Coach Stompy, winning both the events. One of our listeners, Lars, got in touch and said that Marcel, he's only just returned to steel tip darts. He's been playing a lot of soft tip, but an impressive return for him, winning both the events. Just tell us a little bit more about Marcel, the Swiss Stompy.
Yeah, I didn't hear a lot of him, to be honest, during the last 2 years. But then I saw a Facebook post 1 month ago where he beat Stephan Belmont at the Swiss tournament. So I was like, oh, he needs to be good. And we were really excited to see him playing at our tournaments. And yeah, we knew he's one of the favorites to win it, even because Belmont missed the last weekend. So we expected him to go deep, but we didn't expect him to win both tournaments. And the standard he was playing was really outstanding. So because I think he averaged 83 the second day and 76 the first day, and he had 3 Tom Plus checkouts in the final even. So yeah, he will be interesting to watch in the future, and especially at the Q School 2023, I think.
Definitely shown a lot of potential there, and I think I saw there's a handful of places left for the next weekend of the tour events. But away from the tour, what else have the SDC got planned for the rest of this year? Any other events lined up?
Yeah, we do. We plan a doubles weekend, like pairs tournaments in the spring 2023. We already had one with 64 teams, and we got great feedbacks from the players, so we want to repeat that in the next spring. Well, the biggest event we plan to do is in May 2023. We want to do the biggest Steeler tournament in Switzerland ever with 256 players. Basically, it's the season final, and so we already have 100 tour card holders, but we want additional to that 150 additional players. So we have a field of 250 players with prize money of 10,000 Swiss francs, just as a PDC Challenger Tour or a development tour. And we have already booked a great location just by the sea, by the mountains in Bern. It's the capital of Switzerland, and yeah, we're really looking forward to it.
Exciting times, and looking at the setup that you've got with the tours, as we said, with the streams, with Dart Connects, with the boards, it's a very professional setup that you guys have got with the tour. Have you guys had any communication yet with the PDC or PDC Europe about what you guys are doing for darts in Switzerland? Is there any scope for maybe a link up in the future?
Not yet, but that's a good point, because I'm not going to hide the fact that we aspire to have a collaboration with the PDC, and yeah, that's what we aim for. But I think we need some time, because we are just at the beginning and we can still develop and getting better a lot. So, but that's definitely something we are looking forward to have in the future. And if it's not happening, yeah, we're still happy with the things we can reach by our own. But doing something with the PDC together will be amazing.
Let's hope so. And as you say, it is early days, but recent years we have seen the PDC take the European Tour to new countries, the Czech Republic, Hungary. How far away do you think we are to maybe seeing an event like a Euro Tour in Switzerland?
Well, what I heard from other people is that the costs in Switzerland are just too expensive, like to set up everything, to pay people, to set up the things. And but I think if there is a darts hype in Switzerland, like in Germany, the Netherlands, or England, this will not be an excuse. Like we just need a player like Belmont who will have some matches at the Worlds, and who will attract the attention of the Swiss people. And yeah, and of course we also try to promote darts as good as possible in Switzerland. And maybe yeah, the PDC will take notice and also will do some tournaments here, which will be great, of course. Yeah.
Fingers crossed for that. Well, you guys are doing a great job with what you're doing at the moment. Keep up the great work that you guys are doing, Marc, and we appreciate your time and wish you guys and all the guys at the SDC all the best for the rest of the year as well.
Thank you very much. I appreciate that. And yeah, I hope to speak to you soon, maybe in a year, and look where we stand then.